Guys, what's going on? Welcome to Cereal at Midnight. I am Heath.
And I'm Bree.
And we are gathered here for the story of a lovely lady. We're talking about the Brady Bunch. We have just finished we watched a lot of retro TV, right? And we've just completed...
We just watched it all the way through.
A rewatch of the Brady Bunch. Which for
well,
me,
not a rewatch for you. It's a rewatch for me.
For me, it was my first watch of the Brady Bunch. And I don't even know why this is. Like, I'm, of course, very aware of it. I could name all three of the... Or all three. I could name all six of the kids.
Yes, you're clearly very aware.
I could name all six of the kids. I could name the actors that played them. But I couldn't name the episodes. I don't know why. I don't know if it was like other shows were coming on that I wanted to watch more. I'd never watched all of an episode of the Brady Bunch.
Yeah.
So this was kind of it was super crazy, right? Like, how do you... It's like people...
Whereas I had seen them all multiple times.
Yeah. It's like people who in 2022 or whenever still haven't seen Star Wars. And I'm like, you have to be trying not to see it at this point. It's really interesting because it's just total blind spot as far as the... So... I guess some of the pop culture references I know have some of the music, right? I like the music and stuff, but it's been a really interesting experience. And because we love retro TV so much, I thought it'd be fun if we just talked about our experience with the Brady Bunch. There's a lot to talk about. Where should we start?
I don't know. Well, now that you've seen it, so I can say I had seen it before, and I already loved the show, and I enjoyed revisiting it very much. It's a very comfortable thing to watch, but. If it's your first time to see it, what did you think? I
loved it. They're not all great episodes, and there are some episodes that are real groaners that when we go through again, which we'll probably do pretty soon, when we watch them again, there's going to be some that I'm like, I don't like this one. Specifically, I can even name off the top of my head the one where so the one where they put Florence Henderson and Robert Reed in old age makeup, and they play their parents.
Their grandparents. It's their grandparents.
Yes. I didn't think that worked at all. And it was weird. And then, like, the makeup on, was it Robert Reed's makeup?
No, it was Florence Henderson's makeup. You could see the clear makeup line.
But it's we
watched that one with Minnie Midnight. And she's like, why are they doing this?
Why are they doing it? And to which you have to be like, I don't know.
I'll give the Bobby shrug.
I don't know. More on the Bobby shrug in just a second. I really enjoyed it. You know, it's a very... We're such a cynical society now. It's not new. We were cynical in the 90s. You know, we're the Nick at Night generation. We are but for us, and that's one of the reasons maybe I've responded to it. Our generation loves retro TV. Yeah. Generation X... those millennials that are kind of lost, you know, the early 80s millennials. We love retro TV because it was always on. It was a babysitter. It was a comforter. It was always there. And the Brady Bunch represents this fictional reality where your problems are not so... There are no problems that they
can't solve or...
That you can't overcome, right. There's no... The family is not going...
And they all support each other and love each other.
Yeah, like your dad's not going to leave. Yeah. You know, like it's very safe. It's very affirming. Yeah. It's a very...
It's a safe and comfortable place.
The AstroTurf yard, right? Like it has a feeling. It has a very specific, like, comfort. And we're going to talk about this later because we bought this box set. This is what we're working our way through. We already had the series in that shag carpet DVD box set, but it was just the Brady Bunch. This has all the sequel stuff too, so the cartoon, the Brady Brides. It doesn't necessarily work when some of these characters become adults because they are forever children. They remind us of our childhoods. Yeah. And so I really connected with that. And it's not even a real childhood. It's an idealized childhood. So I really loved it. Again, not every episode, but the idea of what it stood for. And Sherwood Schwartz really created something special there. I love Gilligan's Island too, and that's... People miss the point with that. They'd be like, but it's so silly. I'm like, but that was the point. It was an escape from reality. Yeah. So...
It wasn't an escape for them.
Good night, everybody.
We never get off that.
It's a high note to go out on right there. Wow, I am thrown. Do you have any favorite Bradys? Do you have favorite characters?
I probably like Jan and Peter the best. I'm not a middle child, but I could just relate to their, like, trying to find their place and where they fit into things.
Well, the older kids had privilege, right? Greg was like, I'm a man now. I want my own room. And then the younger kids had
just like
they had to work
They were
really
just
hard.
supposed to be cute kids.
Yeah. And then
The
as they got
babies of the
older, they became less cute, right? And then Bobby's in mortal danger. Let's talk about that, right? So so Greg, I gotta get my driver's license. Oh, I bought this car and it's a lemon. What do I do? And then Jan, you're like, I gotta go to this party and I want to fit in.
Or she wants to stand out. Actually,
she wants to stand out.
wears
That's right.
That wig,
black wig. Bobby is getting them into mortal. Like, you hang out with Bobby, you might die. Like, he gets them lost in the Grand Canyon overnight.
Yeah.
What's something else that he did?
The Tiki idol in Hawaii.
That's all Bobby.
That he found.
All Bobby.
Yeah.
There's the episode where Greg is working on the second story window, and he's got the ladder going up. He's like, Bobby, I'll be right back. Don't mess with this ladder. And then Bobby, of course, climbs the ladder. The ladder falls, and he's hanging
from the window.
And then what is Bobby's response? Hey, Bobby, you just almost killed people. And then he's just, Bobby shrug. We coined it the Bobby shrug.
He does that shrug for everything.
With that mischievous smile as he's...
Like, I have a distinct memory in an episode where, like, he and Greg and Peter are working on a bike or whatever, and the girl, either one or two.
It was the Ugly Duckling episode, right? Where the girl had been clean, like, Marcia had given her the makeover.
Marcia was doing the makeover of the girl, and Marcia comes up with her friend, and they're, like, talking, and finally they leave, and Bobby's just like...
Yeah, so the girl walks in, and she's hot now, right? And so Greg's like, hey, and then Peter's like, and Bobby goes... It's like, why that response to that?
Many seasons of the Bobby Shrug.
Bobby Shrug. Hashtag Bobby Shrug. Let's get a tattoo. Just
who would want a tattoo of that?
Mike Lookinland. So okay, where should we go from here? Favorite episodes? Favorite, like, I just want to feel like we've covered it. We got to talk about Alice too, because Alice is the glue that holds everything together.
That's probably true.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. I actually really like Alice.
Pork chops and apple
a great character. That was Peter's line. What are you doing?
But she says it too.
She does. Well, so does
everybody
Florence
gets to say it. They say it like 8 times in an episode.
They do.
That's forever
it's so funny.
branded.
It's like, anytime an episode came on with something like that in it that I knew you would know from pop culture, I was always just like, ooh, here it comes.
I got a secret. Ooh. Like
Maybe
Cindy.
I'm more like Cindy. Yeah.
I got a secret. Cindy can't keep a secret. So should we start winding it? So 5 seasons, right? It's a 5-season show. My 4-season theory is in full effect here. To summarize quickly my 4-season theory, I believe that, and it's a theory, it's not a law. It has not been proven as a law. You haven't
turned it into a law.
But for me, it has yet to be proved wrong. For me, this is a theory that works. It's a scientific investigation method. The theory is that TV shows, like the Brady Bunch, any TV show has, at best, 4 solid years. At best, 4 solid years before all the character relationships have been explored, before all the storylines have really been explored, and before things start to decline. Doesn't mean that 8-season shows aren't worth watching. You're on season... You love Supernatural. I'm for 15 seasons. But I think even you would agree on the 4 seasons. By season 4, they'd done it.
Well, at this point, I'm so far in, I can't remember season 4.
Okay. We'll save that for the Supernatural video.
Okay.
And not to step on anyone's toes, because people are going to be like, well, what about Seinfeld? What about Star Trek The Next Generation? What about MASH?
Yeah.
Bobby Shrug.
I just want to say this is your theory.
Yeah.
And also that my science detector was going off with your theory.
Yeah.
Minnie Midnight used to say that all the time.
She did, yeah.
She'd be like, my science detector is going off.
I think she said it once, and then we latched onto it, and it became a thing.
Anyway, there's plenty of shows that I love that went way longer than 4 seasons. Like, I love It's Always Sunny, and I feel like they really hit their stride in, like, season 5, 6, and 7. So they wouldn't have even gotten there if they'd only had 4 seasons. I love Mary Tyler Moore. So, but what I just want to clarify for people who may have stopped the video already and are angry.
They're writing right now.
Is that you're not saying that shows can't have a whole lot of seasons, and that there aren't good episodes after season 4, because there can be, and there are. What you're saying is that you feel like 4 is like the magic number of 4 really good, strong, excellent, solid seasons. And then after that, it's diminishing returns.
Best case scenario, 4 seasons. Buffy had 3, in my opinion. Some would say it only had 2. Yeah, best case scenario. And I'm thinking of from a production perspective, which is what we're kind of talking about here, because by season 5, we've done all the Brady stories where they're repeating themselves. Now we get, you know, Marcia. You can't do the same storyline with Marcia for the car. You have to.
Yeah. Well, and they did the men versus women again on that episode with her and Greg.
Yeah.
Which they had already done many seasons before with the Girl Scout, Boy Scout thing.
Yep.
Well, and then clearly they were at some kind of a loss because they do the episode with Kelly's kids that barely has any Brady's in it at all.
Pilot for backdoor pilot for a Kelly's Kids episode because they knew season 5 Robert Reed wasn't coming back for a season 6. So
he
how do
wasn't
you
even in the finale?
He was like, I'm out. I'm gonna be at the house, guys. He was off making that movie with Andy Griffith and William Shatner. Pray for the Wildcats. If you guys haven't seen Pray for the Wildcats, look it up. But he wouldn't have come back. So it's just the creative energy had left the show. You can feel some. It started strong. Starts out with the Johnny Bravo episode, which I loved. Probably one of my favorite episodes of the whole show. Claudia
there were
Jennings
good episodes in that season.
There were some good episodes, yeah.
And there was a one where he stole the goat mascot. I like that one.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a good one. But it just feels like the energy is not quite there in the way that it has been. And first of all, Greg looks like he's 25, right?
It's very grown.
He became my favorite character. I always liked Jan for some reason. She seemed just like the rebel in some way. She seemed the most rebellious of any of them, I think. But Greg became my dude as he got older. And then I wanted Greg Brady the college years. Like, that's what I wanted. We got all these sequel shows, the Brady Brides and the Bradys and even the variety show. That's the only thing I should say. That's the only thing that's not included in this box set is the Brady variety show because of all the music rights clearances. But I would have loved to have seen where Greg Brady went after the show. And we know he became a doctor, right, because of the Brady Brides. We'll deal with that Brady Brides in another episode. But it would have been fantastic for me because where we leave him in season 5 as he's headed off to college, he's living in the attic. He's got his stereo set up. He's got the beads, the curtains of beads. Very 70s. Super 70s.
Very groovy.
It's very groovy. That's quite a pad, man. Greg's pad. Yeah. Season 5 is also where they bring in Cousin Oliver. For pop culture, it feels like Cousin Oliver was there for a long time.
It does.
He's like,
or like that he spent the whole season in every episode with them, but he was in very few episodes.
I think it's 7 episodes, I think. He's in 7 episodes, and some of them he just has like one line.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the idea...
the last line of the series.
He got the last line of the series, and I was kind of upset about that. And you were like, well, maybe they couldn't decide...
Who got it.
Who got the line. So they gave it
to Oliver.
Gave it to little Oliver. I wonder, I'll read these. I bought a bunch of books about the series, too, because I like to do the deep dive research and stuff. And I wonder if they knew, like, Robert Reed was leaving, maybe, probably Barry Williams was going to leave, too, because he was headed off to college. They were closing a lot of loops. If Oliver was intended to give a little bit of life to,
have another young kid.
Because they're all so old at that point.
Yeah.
Cindy's, like, enlisting in the army at that point. So I don't know. It was a
Bobby
wonderful.
He wasn't giving his shrug anymore.
He was too tired to give his shrug. He was just like, they're like, what do you think, Bobby? He was just like, it's fine by me. All right, you seem to be running out of steam here. Do we have anything else we want to say before we go to the AstroTurf in the sky? Send this off to.
I don't think so. I think we covered it in
Is it Inger's Toy Store?
No.
Ingles?
No.
Sorry.
Now that I can't remember right now.
Let's take it from the top.
I'll probably remember after you turn the camera off, but that's okay.
That was a good episode too, where Bobby saved that little girl's life, and then he got Peter, and then he got all the.
Bobby never saved anybody's life. Hey, Bobby was putting people's lives in danger.
Yeah, Bobby was probably on the other side pushing
the wall over.
Yeah. Bobby, you almost killed that little girl. It was a blast for me. This was.
I was kind of sad when it ended, even though season 5 wasn't amazing.
It's comforting.
I was just like, oh, that wasn't such a fun thing we were doing.
It's comforting.
Now it's over.
And so we are watching the Brady Brides, and it is not the same. And we'll talk about that. But it is. it is a safe place where childhood lasts forever, right?
And childhood is celebrated.
Yeah.
No one's ever like, stop being a kid.
That's a really good thing to say, too. They're never punished for being kids. I feel like the parents on the Brady Bunch are pretty grounded in the sense of, like, they're not super strict.
Yeah. They let them be kids. They let them learn their lessons themselves.
Well, even, like, Greg steals the mascot. He steals the goat mascot for the other team. And then Mike is like, you got it up. He's excited about it. Like, he's into it. Because he done the same thing. So, it was approachable. It was safe, but it was approachable. I don't know. It's just the best case scenario. It's, of course, the magic of that little box of TV. It's a reality that exists only there. But what a great show.
Yeah.
What a great show.
Agreed.
More on the Brady Bunch at some point as we continue these conversations. But guys, what do you think about the Brady Bunch? Let's continue with conversations. Your favorite episodes, your favorite characters, your favorite situations. You know what?
How much you love Alice.
How much you love the Hawaii trilogy. You know, they do the Grand Canyon in season 3. They do Hawaii in season 4.
And they go to that theme park.
And then they go to Cincinnati. They're like, where else to go except for Cincinnati?
Do you know, we should say, because we looked up for that episode because we were noticing so many people in the background. And we were like, there's a lot of extras and what's happening. And like they just went and filmed on a day that it was open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you can see them going to the front of the line, and you can see the people who are in the line, like that old man, that old man at the beginning of The Hobbit, who's like that grumpy old man. But what I was wondering is like, so it was season 5, right? So people didn't care that there are TV stars in their midst in this theme park. It was really interesting, but most people no,
they were ignoring them.
Yeah, like hey, there's Ambi Davis. Hey, screw you, Ambi Davis. I've been waiting in line for an hour. Here's your pork chops and applesauce. I also want to say, there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh, shoot. I'm losing it.
Was it about Alice?
No, it was about, we were talking about Hawaii, and we were talking about the Grand Canyon, and I had a point that I wanted to make before we left.
Oh, no.
And it's slipping away. And I was like, hold on. Oh, I got it. Where they are. They're in Los Angeles. They never say, people are like, were they in the Midwest? They are they filmed in Los Angeles, of course, but the references, the landmarks that they reference, so they take it down to Vine, at whatever. They're in Hollywood. They're in, and then they go to the movie studios in one of the episodes. It's not they just hop in the car and go to the movie studios.
Yeah.
They're in Los Angeles. Now and forever. Let it be known.
The scenery that you can see, like the types of trees.
Greg's a surfer.
Yeah.
So now the truth can be told, because they never say where they are. And so I actually looked up. Jan goes to a drugstore to get something in one episode, and I looked up the drugstore, and I'm like, oh, it was on Wilshire. So it wasn't on Wilshire, but it was a Los Angeles landmark.
Yeah.
So okay. All right, we can end it here, guys. Thank you so much. Take care. Until next time, we will catch you later.